Hello, everybody. Thank you for stopping by this week to get your weekly fix with me and my good friend Zane. We're back with another podcast. A little bit of craziness, not much craziness to talk about this week. We haven't been doing a whole lot. Zane was on vacation this past week, and I think he had a great time. So we'll ask him a few questions about that. I saw some pretty awesome pictures of him swimming with some dolphins and stuff, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, I'm excited for this week of the podcast. It's always fun when we get to sit down and blabber on about random stuff that we're excited to talk about. But before we get into any of that, Zane, how are you doing?
Oh man, doing great. Feeling refreshed. Back at work today on Monday. It's always odd coming back on a Monday. You have 175 emails to catch up, and it's so funny because every time I step away from work, it's almost as if everything falls apart. So last week I got my coworker actually made me a breakdown of what happened, like day by day, like while she was covering for me, and she put a SpongeBob meme with her feelings and it started off with like SpongeBob laying back with sunglasses, like nothing's wrong. And then the second day was like SpongeBob with like panicking, like all around him. And the third day
On
it just
fire.
progressively got worse.
Yeah.
And then by Friday, it was like I'm gonna head out. So it was
Yeah.
it was really cool. So cool to come back to and like to have great people supporting you. So like you're not scared that like everything's gonna fall away. You can just like dip out, feel good for a week. And yeah, dude, it was a great week. So first cruise ever. Got to go alone with my wife. The in-laws watched the kids. So that was super nice. But yeah, awesome week. What about yourself?
Yeah, I didn't do too much this past week. Me and Danielle have talked about on like we've never been on a cruise before either. So I was definitely curious to see what you had to say about it, like if you'd recommend it. Because I know it's very mixed opinions. I feel like with cruises, some people really like them, and some people don't like being like that far away from land. I think you didn't have very good cell service, if any, and sometimes people don't like that aspect of it either. So I was curious to kind of get your feedback and if it's something you would like to do again, or if it's one of those like one and done type things.
It's definitely something I'm willing to do again. I had a really good time. And having gone, it's super nice to know like what all you're getting into. It's nice to
Hmm.
know all the charges because there's hidden fees, like things you don't know about. Like they're gonna charge you $18 a day per person to clean your room. Like, oh, you're tipping people, but it's a mandatory tip, and we're gonna charge it regardless of if you're going to tip or not. So
Yeah.
just like some of those things is nice to know up front that the cost isn't what they advertise it. It's actually quite a bit more. So that's one thing that was like kind of like about the cruise, but it was no big deal because we got such a good deal on it. It's okay to have some of those upcharges, which is probably why they do that. They like throw out this like crazy deal, which you're like, I can't stay in a hotel for 3 nights for this price. Why can I go to Mexico for 5 nights? Well, that's why. So that was really cool. The being away from land had zero impact on me. I felt perfectly fine. It was awesome to look one way, the other way, and no matter which way you look, just water. I thought that was awesome.
Hmm.
And so it didn't impact me. And having no cell service actually kind of was nice for me. I didn't get any calls. The only thing I didn't like is that my iPhone, I guess where because I was still getting some notifications, so I was worried that I was using cellular data, so I turned it off and I turned my iMessage off, and it screwed all my group chats up. So, like, it said I changed my name, I
Yeah.
removed myself from group chats, I came back, and I was expecting all these text messages, and I had nothing. And I was like, dude, nobody texted anybody, and like, I'm probably in like 25 group chats. So
Hmm.
it's like no one texted. Turns out they all texted. I just ruined it all somehow. So by not being in there.
Yeah.
So that was also weird. But yeah, super good time. I actually got to do a superhero trivia game show and won that. So that was pretty cool. Pretty cool to,
Representing.
yeah, let's
Representing.
go. Weekly fix, taking home the dub. So that was nice. Out of 20 questions, I got 17. So that was pretty cool. I didn't know that the Human Torch attended school with Spider-Man.
Oh, interesting. I
So
didn't know that either, but I feel like it kind of makes sense because I feel like the Human Torch and Spider-Man have a lot of crossovers. Like there's a ton of times they meet up in the comics and stuff like that. So I kind of makes sense, but I also think that's kind of like a weird question to ask because
oh yeah.
it really just depends on the comic run. Like there's comic runs where they never meet each other, you know? So
Yeah, and especially like it's not in any like modern day media form, at least that I'm aware of. So I
yeah.
thought that was cool. But it was nice. It was cool to so to answer your question, yes, I would do it again. And one thing I would make sure that if I'm going to go to a location, it would exist without the cruise line. I would
Okay.
never go anywhere again that is stood up basically only by the cruise line. To sit in the port and it be nice, and then to leave the port and it be the worst poverty you can ever see in your life. It just doesn't set well with me. It seems like it's almost like really taking advantage of those people. And it's obviously not helping them because their communities aren't any better. Their communities
Mhm.
are still stuck in that poverty, even though this cruise line is making tons of money from them. So to me, that just kind of didn't sit well. Like we went to Cozumel, and Cozumel was fine because like it's going to stand alone on its own. It's a great little island there. It has an economy without the cruise ports. So even though it's still like super touristy because of the cruise boats coming to it, it would still survive without it. And so that kind of like I don't know. I just had a much better experience at that port than I did at the other one. Costa Maya, it was not super thrilled, but Cozumel highly recommend.
That's awesome. I'm glad you guys had a good time. Glad you
Yeah.
had some good things to report, and I'm glad it's something you would recommend, to do again or at some point in your life. It's always fun, like when you do something like that, to actually want to do it again because then
Oh
it feels
yeah.
like even more justified. Even if you had a good time and all that stuff, it's a lot more fun that way. But yeah, nice to have you back here, though. We missed you. It's gonna be fun to talk about some stuff here, and we don't have a ton of stuff to talk about this week because I have not watched anything. I know you did get through Marvel Zombies somehow.
I
I don't know
did.
how you found time to this week after the cruise, you come home and you banged out a couple hours worth of Marvel Zombies. We're going to do a full review on that hopefully next week for the podcast. But Zane, why don't you give us a quick little, oversight, overview of what you thought of Marvel Zombies?
Yeah. So Marvel Zombies for me, it's one of those just like sit down, turn your brain off and enjoy kind of TV shows. There's not a lot of thinking to it. It's got a very big Marvel Walking Dead feel. It feels like Walking Dead, like even the intro with the sound, like it's very, very kind of haunting like that. It kind of starts off the same way with someone in a city in danger. It has that vibe and it has a great flow to it. So it's one story, 4 episodes, and each episode is like its full entitled story, good story, good story, good story. And I really like the way that it progressed throughout the time and had a good solid story throughout. It it kills off characters, so no one's safe, which is nice. It doesn't have plot armor. I don't love the main character they follow. They follow Kamala Khan as the main character in this story. She's the through line throughout it. And I'm not she just doesn't translate as well as she did in live action. I really like her actress in live action, but as a voice actor, the charm and the wit and the goodness that she brings to the screen doesn't really go through in Marvel Zombies near as well. It's not near as punchy. And actually Scarlet not Scarlett Johansson. The Scarlet Witch. I'm losing her name. How did I lose that actress's name? Uh
Elizabeth Olsen.
Yeah, Elizabeth Olsen. She was at Comic Con and they asked her what she thought of it, and she actually didn't even know that it had released. And she said she recorded these lines in 2020 at her house.
Oh
So like
wow.
she doesn't remember what the story happened. She doesn't know what's going on. She can't remember anything cuz so this was like recorded 5 years ago. So it's kind of crazy that it's taken till now to come out. And yeah, it's it's solid. I did not like the ending. That it just spoiler alert, it leaves you on a cliffhanger.
Okay.
And so and it's a cliffhanger they probably won't resolve.
That was going to be my question with the cliffhanger. Do you think it was setting up a season two, and maybe
Oh,
when they originally planned this, they thought it was going to for sure, we'll get a season two, but with the state of Marvel and Disney and the Marvel universe and all that stuff, maybe that's kind of shifted a little bit.
oh, for sure. This was 100% anticipated season 2. They even said season 2 would focus on Bucky. So they were like, "Hey, we're gonna
Okay.
go on Bucky for season 2. We'll do his through line." The problem is like they could have done the same thing but had not such a significant cliffhanger. And you'll if you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. Like there was a way to end that with the same like eeriness without like telegraphing it. So if you came in with a season 2 with exactly what the cliffhanger shows, no one would have been like, well, that doesn't make sense. So they could have done it better without especially, dude, they got to stop teasing things that they're not going to do. Now, if they do a season 2 and they do a season 2 quickly, I really don't have any issue with it. But the fact
Okay.
that they haven't really said much, this was on the shelf for a long time, polishing, it looks great. It's a lot of fun. The characters are fun. The power levels seem reasonable. I love what they did with the zombies. It's just a lot of fun. So even Chelsea liked it. She watched all 4 episodes with me. So, uh, it's exactly what they should have done with What If. This is like a perfect What If season.
Do you think this is something that, because I feel like it's been received pretty well? Do you think it's kind of maybe been a little bit of a surprise to, Disney and Marvel that it has been received as well as it is? And do you think that's something that does maybe push for a season 2? Because I'm kind of in the same boat as you. We've legit not heard anything about this getting a second season or anything like that. And usually with, the day and age in which we live, stuff gets greenlit like before the first season's even finished. So I'm kind of like you. I don't think it's going to, but do you think with the reception that it has gotten and people seemingly having liked it, do you think there's a chance or not really?
I think there's always a chance, especially with these things. I just don't know if they have the bandwidth for it. With how
Okay.
much they've pushed and how much they've done other places, and with them trying to shorten and shorten and shorten how much they're doing with all of the Marvel projects, it just doesn't seem like this is something they really should spend time on because these are all of the same actors that they're using, except for Spider-Man, which is weird. Tom Holland doesn't voice Spider-Man, and it's evident. Like they really should have grabbed him since they have everyone else. I don't know why they didn't. Um, I probably Sony.
I was
Who
about to
knows?
say probably some Sony, right?
But it's just like I don't. I hope they don't. I hope they don't do a season 2 just because I would rather have other things. Now I will say Blade as Moon Knight is
Yeah.
very nice. Blade as Moon Knight is dope, and he does a fantastic job. Best character in the entire show. Him and Thor are very, very good.
That was the character I was hoping when I had heard it was Kamala Khan as like the main character. I was really hoping it was going to be Blade because, for instance, like Kamala Khan, we've gotten movies and shows, for her. I was really hoping
Yeah,
the main character of this would have been something that we hadn't gotten before, and I felt like Blade has been teased in the MCU for so long. We've heard about the Blade movie and all the troubles it had. I was really hoping this would kind of be its moment to shine. And like it's the perfect setting for Blade. Like slicing up zombies, like doing all that cool stuff. I was really, really hopeful that's what it was gonna be. But I'm happy he at least was like a good character and not just one of those things that like, oh, he has one cool scene and that's about it.
no, he has several cool scenes, and he does a great job throughout. Like his lines are well delivered, and they use Conchu fantastic in this. Like it's not just like he's Moon Knight, but he's just Blade. Like no, Conchu is very heavily shown in this. Like, and his connection with him is a big part of this. And I really love what they did. It got a 7.2, so it's not being received like over the top well, and I
Mhm.
think some of that may be the ending. I think the ending was a big letdown, and whenever something it doesn't end well, like, it can just spoil like, it can ruin the entirety of, like, your entire watching experience, so that was really sad to see, like, I really wanted them to like, you know, finish it with a good strike, especially after watching the first episode, and I was like, Chelsea I was like, "You wanna watch another one?" She's like, "Yeah," and I was like, did you like it? And she was like, yeah, it was good. So I was surprised at that. So to have her interested in a animated, anytime somebody dies in animated shows, she's always like, oh no, they stopped drawing them. It's like, I'm like, it's the same story. Like, oh no, they just stopped acting in a live action. There's no difference. Um,
Yeah,
but it's funny in her mind. It is. So
it's so different.
for her to enjoy an animated project, it's pretty good. So
No, that's awesome. Well, like I said, we will hopefully do a full review on this for the next episode of the podcast because I'm excited to get into it. I think it's going to be something I really enjoy with the type of action scenes and
Oh
sequences that
yeah.
I've seen. I feel like it really plays to like my type of stuff. But one thing we haven't talked a lot about really recently, and really I feel like throughout the year, it's been one of those things that we kind of keep forgetting about. It's been on the back burner, but every time we talk about something that's coming up and we remember that there's an Avatar movie coming out at the end of this year, we're always like, oh yeah, that's gonna be crazy. And they dropped a new trailer for it. I just found out about the trailer right before we hopped on the podcast. I didn't even know they dropped one. But you've watched it. Did it show anything new? Did it get you more excited, or is it a little bit more of the same stuff that we've already seen?
I feel like they showed a lot more because I think this is their first like full trailer,
I
if I'm right.
probably. I feel like the others were like teasers.
Yeah, and the other one was like almost like showing reused images from like Way of Water. But
Mhm.
this one shows a lot and it shows a good amount of plot. I was really surprised about the amount. Like if you're a no, I don't want to know anything about a movie kind of guy going into it, this is not the trailer for you. It is very heavily showing exactly what the plot is, exactly what's going to happen. And so I don't love that, but I think it's just the Avatar movies, you kind of know what's going on and you still watch them because they're just so beautiful and they're so well
Mhm.
done. So it's not such a huge knock on it, but I was kind of like, man, I would have held that. Like I wouldn't have showed that. So I don't even feel good saying it on the podcast because I'm like, if somebody does like really want to have no altered experience going into a movie, it's something that I was like, I would have liked to have not seen that coming, but now I know that through point. So it may happen in the first 5 minutes, and it may not be even a slight spoiler, but to me, it was like, I wonder why they included that.
That's one thing I feel like has been happening a lot with trailers recently is I'll feel like it's like some big plot point just got spoiled and I'm like, why would they show us that? And then literally I go to watch the movie and it does happen like within the
Yeah.
first couple of minutes. So I'm interested in that. I know my wife hasn't seen Way of Water, so that's something we need to watch before this one comes out. But I'm excited
It's in
for
the
it. I,
theater this
I
weekend.
oh, is it?
Yep. Yep, Way of
Cool.
Water comes back for 1 week only. So all next week, Way of Water. If you haven't seen Way of Water, now's your chance to go see it how it's supposed to be seen in the theater.
Trying to drive up those box office scores, you got to get them. They want to dominate that top of the
That's
list.
right.
It's all now. Is this something? I know you said that it felt like it spoiled certain things potentially. Do you think we're gonna get another trailer before this? Because James Cameron does stuff a little differently. He doesn't always do multiple trailer drops like we do see with Marvel and even with Star Wars when they do have a movie. Usually he kind of just one big trailer and then you get the movie. Or do you see this being something that we get a few more little trailers sprinkled in throughout?
I think we may get some TV spots specifically, but I can't see having another trailer. This
Okay.
is this is all you if you would need to see the movie, this is all you got to see. Like if you're trying to get more out of a trailer, then I don't understand why you would not just go watch the movie. Like if
Yeah.
this doesn't drive you to the theater, then nothing will.
Well, speaking on trailers, we've got a couple of others that have come to mind recently that we have got to see a little bit of. And I want to start off with a movie that I'm very excited for. I don't think you're quite as excited for it. And I got to be honest, after seeing the trailer, I don't know if I'm as excited as I thought I was going to be. But let's talk about The Mandalorian and Grogu here for a second because that's a trailer that a lot of people were excited about. It got delayed. There was all that buildup. Everyone was like, oh, it's dropping today. It's dropping today. It doesn't drop that day. It's a couple days later. We finally get the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. I'll be the first to say it. I was a little disappointed. I was definitely a little disappointed. One thing I was happy about is it had a lot of new stuff in it. So I don't know if you guys remember, if you guys had seen it. There was a previous trailer that I think might have dropped at Star Wars Celebrations that I thought was way, way better than the one that they officially dropped online. Like, there was a lot more action in it. It was a lot more Mandalorian focused. We got some really cool scenes of him, just being a Mandalorian, fighting and shooting and all that stuff. And then we get this trailer, and it's almost like they're wanting it to be goofy and funny. And I know they probably want to really attract families to this type of movie because of Grogu and how big of a hit he was when The Mandalorian first came out. They know how obsessed people are with him because he is a cute little guy. But this trailer was really kind of disappointing because I kind of was wanting that, Mandalorian action movie. You know, that John Wick in space almost. It really doesn't feel like that's the way they're going anymore after seeing this trailer. Zane, what did you think about it?
No, I completely agree. I saw the trailer and I was like, this doesn't really excite me for the movie. This
Mm-mm.
seems like a bad episode of Mandalorian. Like this
Yep.
seems like one of the episodes that I was like, that's a lot of filler. Like didn't really expand much. Like wasn't really action heavy. And I agree. I even thought like it's the ATST that he's like riding down a hill at the end of the trailer from Celebration, right?
Yes,
Like that's how it
that
ended.
was one of the few scenes that was in that trailer. Yeah.
It was in that trailer.
Well,
What
kinda, like, a little bit. They show him so, in the Star Wars Celebrations trailer, we get to see the inside of that. So, we get to see him taking out all the stormtroopers inside, planning the charges and all that stuff.
Well, so I know they showed the AT-AT explode, but I thought like the final shot was him riding down a hill on an AT-ST, like Solo
Oh,
Walker.
yeah, I think you might be right on that, yeah.
And I was like, okay, like that's pretty dope. Like he's definitely taking on the Empire. We're definitely getting him to see like going in deep. And it's just like on this one, it does seem like you nailed it on the head. Like this just is not focused toward an action film. This seems like it's a focus toward a goofball film, which
Mhm,
I am not about. So
yeah.
Mandalorian is cool because of how serious and how good it was, how mysterious the character was, how threatening he was, and how good at what he did was, and then the emotional side of it. I don't need him to develop a crazy sense of humor. Like him developing emotions for Grogu in and of itself was enough. Now we can just keep that emotion, string it along with his expertise, and have an awesome movie.
Yeah, and it's not to say like I didn't hate the trailer. Like I'm still excited for the movie. I'm still gonna go opening weekend. I'm still gonna go watch it. Like it hasn't completely turned me off to the idea of what this movie is gonna be because again, trailers can be very deceiving. There's probably gonna be a lot more action and stuff in there than that actually was shown in the trailer. And some of the funny parts in this trailer actually made me laugh. Like the opening scene where they're looking over the hill and Grogu has like the little binocular. Like I legit laughed when I saw that. Like that was funny. We get the little scene at the very end of the trailer where he's in like the sewer type thing and he's got the little wrist thing on and he shoots that little monster. Like that's fun stuff. Like that's the stuff I want to see. That's the moments of Grogu that I think you can let shine. I just feel like this trailer was just like, all right, let's make him laugh in this scene. All right, and then this next scene, let's make him laugh again. And then, all right, on this one, guess what, guys? You're gonna laugh at this one. And I just feel like it was constantly that. Whereas the first trailer, again, I know that one never got officially released to the public. It was just leaked. It was none of that. Like it was the Mandalorian doing awesome stuff. And that's why I'm not super torn up about this trailer yet, because I know what other stuff is gonna be in the movie. I just hope this wasn't what the precedent is gonna be set for this movie moving forward.
Yeah, and I hope that's just not the pace of Disney Star Wars. I hope it is
Mm-hmm.
not just like, hey, we got to reach that younger audience, younger audience, younger audience, sell toys because that's where they make their money is the theme
Yeah.
parks and the toys. And so even though the movie's bringing a ton of money from the cinemas, it's still not it's still not in comparison to what they make everywhere else. So I get it. We're a capitalistic society. Like we got to make money. That's what they're doing. But I really do hope it's action. It's like it's a good film,
Yeah.
which I hope it is. But
Yeah.
you never know.
I mean, we never want to see these movies fail. Like a movie failing, especially a big title like a Star Wars movie or when Marvel movies fail, it's not good for literally anyone in the industry because those are supposed to be the movies that attract everybody. They're supposed to be the
Yeah.
ones that get everyone to come to the theaters. And when those movies don't perform, that takes away from the other movies because think about how many times people flood the theaters for these Marvel and Star Wars movies, all those ads that you see right before the movies, all the trailers, those get people excited just being in the theater. They're like, you know what? That actually might be something I want to go see. But then if by the end of the time they're in the theaters and just got done with a movie that they think sucked, they're like, oh, you know what? I'm not even going to waste my time with that movie that I thought looked good in the trailer. So I think we both agree. Obviously, we don't want to see him fail. And obviously, we don't want to see Star Wars move in just a direction of trying to appeal to a younger audience. But I think we don't have to necessarily be too worried about that with another trailer that just got leaked for us that you actually shared in our group chat. And that is the Darth Maul. I forget what the name of the official name
Shadow
for the
Lord?
show is.
Shadow
Maul
Lord.
Shadow Lord or something like
Yeah.
that. We got a little bit of a leak from that. I believe that got leaked at LA Comic Con, which is happening right now. Zane, tell me a little bit about that trailer, because that one definitely had a more serious, dark tone than what we just saw in the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer.
Definitely a more serious dark tone in that one. We get to see a ton of lightsabers. And I mean
Mm,
a ton of lightsabers. We get to see potential Padawans, potential I don't know. Him taking on the syndicates. I saw it. I was like, dude, this looks really good.
hmm
And I love Sam. I think he does a great job with it. Him being on the creative team makes me have a lot more confidence in this. His voice, he kind of encapsulates that post Clone Wars Darth Maul so well, and it really kind of been the character that we've grown to love in the expanded Clone Wars series, on top of what he did in what Ray Parker did fabulously in the first movie. But yeah,
hmm
I really liked it, and to see as much Star Wars lightsaber action in this is really what got me excited, and kind of seeing him even go up against some Inquisitors. And to see how he's going to take on some spinning lightsaber blades, and I just hope he tears through them. I hope
Yeah,
that he really is, because they should have no shot against them all, because he's
yeah.
just better.
Yep.
So,
No, this trailer had all the sauce, right?
oh
Like it
yeah,
had
a
the
lot of
lightsabers,
sauce.
it had the great voice acting by Sam Witwer, and we talk so often about like let's move on from the Skywalker stuff, right? We don't need the same characters being reused over and over and over again. Let's get some new ones. And Darth Maul does get sprinkled in a lot, right? He's one of those characters that they're always like, if you can throw him in there, go ahead and do it. But this one actually feels like it's going to be worth watching, because we really don't know a whole lot of what he did outside of certain aspects of Star Wars, right? There's a lot
Yeah,
of question marks about where he was after, episode 1, really, when he got cut in half, and then we see him in the Clone Wars and stuff some, but there's still a lot of stuff like, where was he? What was he doing during all these periods of time? And so I'm excited to see this kind of fill in those gaps a little bit. And he's just one of those characters that you're like, yeah, you know what? I'll take him all project anytime. Like, it is well okay with me to get more of Darth Maul.
well, and that's what you want, right? We have so many. We It seems like almost all of the Star Wars media we've been getting has not been like lightsaber and force heavy, right? They've been like character pieces. Like we got Andor, which we love Andor, but there's no force, there's no lightsaber action, and we really love that kind of stuff. Bad Batch, right? That Asajj Ventress is barely in it. We got a little bit of it, but it seems like we've really been missing the Jedi aspect and the Sith aspect from these projects, at least a good one. So I'm really excited. This even like the Mandalorian. Like we get to see Luke like for half a second, and Grogu lights up a lightsaber like once, and we got to see the dark blade, which is awesome. Um, but you know, it's like a prop. It's not actually used well. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm very excited for this project and all of the pieces that it's drawing in, and kind of like vindicate his appearance in Solo. Like really make that purposeful.
Now, that was actually going to be a question I brought up, because that is one of the big things. Like, we saw him at the end of Solo. Everyone was excited. There was rumors for such a long time we were going to get a Darth Maul movie, and we were going to get to see him, become the leader of the Crimson Dawn and all this stuff. Do you think we get to see some of that kind of start to play out in this show? Do you think this is something that they're maybe wanting to push towards? Do you think we see maybe some characters from the Solo movie, like Kira and stuff like that, that are prominent characters in that movie and are obviously big parts of the Crimson Dawn? Or do you think this is just going to be like really a standalone, no connections to anything else other than the fact it's Darth Maul?
Honestly, I'm not positive. And one of the reasons I'm not positive is because of Rebels. Like I
Mhm.
don't know the throughput for Maul enough to actually understand like where his story lines up when. So I'm not positive. I don't know enough about Star Wars outside of the mainstream line to really make it even an accurate prediction on that, because I don't know how it goes.
Mhm.
What
Yeah,
about
I,
you?
I
What are you
really don't
thinking?
have any. Yeah, I just don't have any predictions for it, because I feel like it is one of those things that they just want it to be its own little story. They don't want to deal with what they just got through dealing with the Acolyte, right? Where everyone's like, oh, you're retconning this or you're destroying this canon. I think they really
Okay.
want this just to be like a standalone fun show that people are like, all right, that was awesome. Like, I'm happy with seeing Darth Maul slice people in half and, take on all the, everybody, right? I think that's more so what it's going to lean towards. But I feel like they might sprinkle in a few little things just for those fans that are looking for it, which I feel like Star Wars generally does a pretty good job at doing.
Yeah. Now, do you think this is going to be a multiple season project, or is this a one and doneer?
I really feel like it's a one and done. I feel like it could be one of those things that maybe potentially we get a second season if it's received really, really well. But
Okay.
if you think about it for the most part, like they've had a lot of success with like the Tales series of
Yeah.
things. I almost could see them maybe just shifting into that. Like we'll get a Darth Maul show. Maybe we'll get another character, that's a prominent fan, like Star Wars fans are like happy to have. Like
Like
I
a
would
Cad
love
Bane.
like people love that Tales of the Underworld, his little storyline. I could see something like that. I'm still waiting for the day that Captain Rex standalone animated show gets announced. Like that's the stuff I want to see. I want to see what he did, what part of the what his side of the Bad Batch show was. Right, we see him in there a little bit, but not enough to really see what he was up to. I want to see those missions that he went on and things like that. So I could see this kind of like kickstarting that for them in their animated projects. Let's just pick a character that people like. We'll give them a short season, and then we'll move on to the next.
Okay. Do you think there's any chance we see Cal Kestis show up in this project or another short one?
I don't think in this one. I
Okay.
definitely don't think in this one. I think he's got to make an appearance at some point. And I know the what's his name? The actor for him, the guy that his voice actor. I can't believe I'm forgetting his
I
name.
don't know him.
Um, oh, I know, I literally can like see it, but I can't say it.
Yeah.
I know he has been very adamant because he looks exactly like Cal Kestis. Like they
Yeah.
based
They
the
modeled
character
him
off
off
of
him.
him. Yeah. And I know he has been so adamant about being like, hey, I would love to be in a project at some point. I would love to, even if it is just being a voice actor for an animated thing. I would love to do it. So I don't think it'll be this one. I definitely think he's got one coming up in the future.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
and I would love that.
I think he would really I think he kind of needs to be like with as much as he is like beloved and the games are so good and so story heavy.
Yeah.
I think they really should, but he does have enough content that he doesn't necessarily need one because they
Mhm.
are so story heavy. But it's Cameron Monaghan, is that right?
Yeah. Cameron Monaghan. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yep, he's awesome. If you've ever like if you want to like just learn a little bit more about an actor, if you watch like some of his interviews, it's really refreshing to hear him talk about Star Wars cuz he actually loves it. Like it's
yeah,
actually something he's happy to be doing. Very similar to Sam Witwer. Like we love when the people that are doing their projects actually like what they're doing and they're not just
for
doing it for
sure.
the paycheck. Those guys are doing it cuz they like
It
it. So,
shows. It shows through.
yeah,
And like if you love what you're doing, it shows through in the product you produce.
for sure. For sure. So I'm excited about the mall show though. I think it's gonna be awesome. But other than that, like we've gotten a few teasers for Star Wars with the is it Starfighter, the Ryan Gosling movie,
Yeah, we've got a little
that's
bit of
coming out.
leaks and some pictures, right?
Some
But
pictures,
nothing else.
yeah. Not much else other than that. I have heard though that some of the rumors are it is going to tie into it's a very kid friendly show. It's the other animated Star Wars project that they've done. I've never watched it. I forget what it's called though. It's like Star Pilots or something like that.
Okay.
Um it's supposed some people think it's going to tie into that a little bit.
Okay.
Again, I haven't watched it. I don't know enough about it. It's like literally it's like one of those kids that shows that are like made for like little kids.
Okay.
But from some of the set leaks and stuff we've seen, it looks like it's going to be a similar thing, which I think would be
That's
kind of
weird.
cool for like characters like that to like as these kids are growing up because that show came out like 8 or 9 years ago, maybe not quite
Okay.
that long, but it's been a while. So those kids are probably like more adults now, like teenagers and stuff like that. Might be cool for them to have like a show that they watched when they were little, get like an adult version of it a little bit. I think that'll be fun for those people that got to grow up with that.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you were 5 when you watched something and you're 13 now and
and you get like
like
a new spin off of it. It'd be cool.
yeah, that would be pretty neat. But what's something that is big and new is you're going to NYC next week, right?
I am. Yep. I will be out of office next week. We're heading to New York. Doing just a little vacation. Me and my wife haven't been on a vacation, just us for a while. So we'll be in New York next week, hang out, check out some local stuff. Do all the sightseeing, try and eat some good food. But then my brother will actually be coming down in the middle of the week to come with me to a big bucket list item for me, which is New York Comic Con. We both got tickets to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Lots of hype stuff going on as always. Not as big as I feel like past years. Like usually past years we have Marvel there, we have Star Wars there. Neither of them are going to be here this year just because we've kind of seen them really slow down and like take a few steps back. But I think it's still going to be a really good time. There's going to be a lot of other stuff getting announced there, so I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, for sure. And you're gonna have some insider scoops for us from one
Hopefully.
panel in particular that you got into, right?
Yes, yeah. So me and my brother, reservations were today, the day that we're recording this podcast. Me and my brother both got into the Invincible panel. We're supposed to be getting lots of
Let's
leaks.
go.
Robert Kirkman will be there. Stephen Yeun will be there. Jillian Jacobs, which is the Adam Eve voice actor, will be there. And they said there's going to be a few other voice actors making appearances at the panel. There's been lots of rumors about who those other voice actors are going to be. They think we're finally going to get the Thrag voice actor, which is going to be awesome if he's actually there, whoever it does happen to be. They think we might get a little bit of a teaser trailer, those exclusive trailers that we're talking about, the mall one that was just released at the LA Comic Con. Hopefully something like that will happen for Invincible. So it's going to be a lot of fun. First panel I've ever been to for something like that. So that in and of itself is going to be really cool. And for it to be an IP like Invincible that I love so much and I've
Yeah.
grown such a connection to with trying to hunt down all the single issue comics, reading through them, collecting all the cool gear and stuff. I think it'll be a really fun one just to kind of get that little insider scoop like you were talking about.
Now you talked about it a little bit in the text chat, but do you have any prediction for Thrag?
Man, I made a joke. I was like, they're going to announce it as Robert Downey Jr. because it just would be funny because everyone announces Robert Downey Jr. for everything. It feels like. I really don't, though. I feel like they've really played every voice actor that we've gotten. They've played really close to their chest. I mean, we didn't find out Jeffrey Dean Morgan was playing Conquest until maybe a couple months before the new season came out. It got finally announced and all that stuff. So I'm interested. There's been lots of rumors about different people and so on. I don't think this is who it will be, but I know Robert Kirkman has said multiple times that the one person he wants to get on Invincible is Bryan Cranston. He's such a big
Okay.
fan of his work and stuff like that. I don't think he's gonna play
Yeah,
Thrag,
do you
but
think he would
I
fit that?
I don't think he would fit Thrag, but I know he
Yeah.
like those are the type of characters that Robert Kirkman wants to be. He wants those big name actors that have had like just such a good track record of shows and stuff. So I think it's gonna be a really big name. I just don't know
I've
who it's gonna be yet.
I've got a thought. I think it might be John Bernthal.
John Bernthal.
Yeah.
You know what? It could line up because he did get announced at NYCC a little late.
Yep.
He might pop into the panel. And he would fit it really well too. Like that deep, like just mean voice. He'd bring a
That
little
deep,
Punisher
mean
aspect to
voice.
it.
He's about the perfect age type esque. He's not super because Thrag's not a real old character.
No,
So he kind of looks
well,
like a young
relatively.
guy. Yeah, he's a young Viltrumite. So
Mm,
I was thinking John Bernthal would be a really good pick for that.
that would be awesome. And dude, like
And I
I was
love
talking
John
to my
Bernthal.
brother. Yeah, I was talking to my brother before we hopped on here to do the podcast, and I was like, dude, if they actually announced the Thrag voice actor at this thing, people are gonna go nuts. Like, it is gonna be awesome if he walks out on the stage. Like, everyone's gonna be like, yeah, let's go. I think that's a really good pick, though, because the stars do align if they do want to announce him there and they want him to actually come out and talk. That would be really cool. And I also would appreciate him because he's one of those guys that takes his roles very seriously. He would
Incredibly
probably
serious.
read all the comics. He would probably really get in that frame of mind. I think that's a really good shout. I like that one.
Yeah. Probably not, but it would be cool. I just love John Bernthal. I think he does great in everything he does.
Well, and we know Robert Kirkman loves to work with people that he's previously worked with. It's a very
Walking Dead.
common theme. The Walking Dead. I mean, he continually pulls people from that. I mean, literally Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Stephen Yeun. I mean, the list goes on. There's other voice actors that were in The Walking Dead that have made little appearances in Invincible.
Yeah.
So and that's a big name too, which is what they
Yeah.
want. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like
They wanna draw
Invincible
those.
sometimes. I feel like they sometimes sacrifice like and don't take this the wrong way, every voice actor they've had has been amazing. They almost sacrifice like quality for the big name. Like they want that big name so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, because voice acting is completely different than
Yeah.
acting. Like there's a big difference. And the people that can do both, like bravo. I think
Yeah.
well, I just lost his name and I have no clue how. Um his dad. What what's his,
Oh,
uh
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons' ability to voice act and regular act and just do like he is so good. Like there's no sacrifice there. He is an enhanced voice actor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how he does everything so well, but he just kills it. Funny roles, serious roles, voice acting roles. He's so good.
Walton Goggins is the same way, who plays Cecil. I
Yeah,
mean,
he really is.
just incredible. I mean, Stephen Yeun, like, he does an absolutely incredible job as Mark. Like, I couldn't picture anyone else playing Mark anymore at this point because he just does such a good job. It's like synonymous with the character at this point.
Yeah.
No, I think there's a few. I keep saying if you want to watch something on YouTube, I told you I've been watching a lot of stuff on
You
YouTube.
have.
You
You
asked me what I
have.
have been watching. Um, if you ever have time to watch J.K. Simmons in the booth working on Invincible, there's a few YouTube videos out there where they show him just in the booth talking.
Okay.
It's incredible. Like his mannerisms while he's talking to the people or like anything, it's so good. Like he
Is
is
it kind of
doing
like
such a good
Wolverine
job.
when he's like
He doesn't. It's literally like Omni Man. Like it's literally like he's so cool, calm, and collected. Like the
okay.
one scene I saw where he's in the booth, he's talking about like it's early on in season 1 where he's talking about what they should have for dinner, and he's like, I could make it to Naples and back before the cheese stops bubbling on the pizza. And the way he says it, like he's so chill and calm about it. It's like I think he actually could do it.
He
Like I
probably
think
could,
he
yeah.
could make he could fly
Or
to
he
Naples,
believes he
get a
can.
pizza. Yeah, literally. So no, I think John Bernthal would fit that mold so good, and that could be a whole episode that we could talk about. Voice actors that we think could make an appearance in Invincible because we've had some big ones.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Conquest. Aaron Paul was in it as
Yeah, that was
I'm forgetting what
Power
his name was.
Powerplex.
Yeah, Powerplex. I mean, they try to get some big names. I mean, obviously Walton Goggins is a huge name. Stephen Yeun's a pretty prestiged actor slash voice actor at this point in his career. So now I like the John. Now I'm gonna be a little like upset if it's not him. Like I kind of want that one.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe he needs to be bigger and badder. Like I don't know what voice he pictures when he reads the comics, which is so cool to think of like when he wrote it, he had a specific voice in mind. And when you read
Yeah,
it, you read something else. I think that's really cool to kind of, oh, that's not really the voice I had in my head, but it's what he pictured because he cast him.
yeah.
So, and he was involved in creating it. So that's really cool that he's going to get exactly what he envisioned, which is awesome.
And man, he's got the budget to do it because Amazon is just opening up that checkbook for Invincible. I saw the other day. I forget how much it was. Rings of Power costs like it's an absurd
It's a
amount of
billion
money.
dollars or something
Yeah,
at this
it's
point.
insane. And it does show. Like
When
Rings
does
of
that
Power is
come
one of the
out?
most I don't know. They finally got me hooked into it. Like they finally made it interesting for me, and then it's just no, it's just done. Like we haven't
Just
heard a word about
disappeared.
it. Yeah. But I saw this thing the other day. They've spent so much money on Invincible or on that, but Invincible, like per the margins, makes more money for them because it doesn't cost as much, obviously,
Okay.
and stuff like that. And I was like, that's so funny. So if Robert Kirkman says, "Hey, I need a lot of money to sign this voice actor," they'll be like, "All right, here you go, blank check. Just do whatever you need to."
Okay. Estimated early 2027 for
Holy
Rings of
cow.
Power.
When was the last season? Late, like, was it
Uh,
early 24? I
it
think
was
it was, like,
late 2024. Like
was it late
like
24?
August time frame, I think.
Man. I mean, it makes sense. That show's budget and the production quality is insane, but that's a
Yeah.
long time.
That's
That's like
so
a movie.
long.
Literally like a movie. But,
Yeah. So
the Invincible panel will be a
four
lot of
times
fun.
as
I'm
long.
excited about it.
No.
Yeah, literally.
Are you getting anything else that like I have to get? Like I know you bought some comics that you're taking with you. Is there anything that like you're like, no matter the cost, no matter the line, I'm getting this?
Well, the cost thing, there is going to always be a matter of the cost, because I was looking at the other night, like, how much is it to get some of these artists to sketch a comic cover? Because if you guys have seen some of my like YouTube videos and stuff, I love getting blank covers for sketch, like to get sketched at some point for comic books. I just think that's such a cool concept, and I've seen so many other people doing. It's just such a cool piece of like artwork to have, especially if it's something you really like. And I was looking at them and like, man, they can get real expensive, but they
Yep.
do depend on like what you're requesting of them. Like if you're
Yeah.
asking for like full color, full art, like multiple characters obviously makes a big difference too. Like if you want, we'll talk about Invincible. Like if you wanted an Invincible and an Omni-Man on your cover, you got to pay for both of them, because they're not going to skip out on, making one look really good and the other one's like a stick figure, right? So it really does make a difference on like what you're requesting. I've
Yeah.
seen some people say like if you just want like a black and white like quick sketch, those usually don't get too crazy, which is probably more in the vein of what I'll be doing. If I do happen to get a sketch cover. As far as autographs are concerned, continue talking about Invincible. Ryan Otley, the artist for Invincible, who took over, I think he took over on issue 8 of Invincible is when he officially took over as the
Okay.
artist.
So real early.
He'll Yeah, really early. That's why he's credited basically with the entire run, is because he took over so early. Um, but he'll be there, so I plan to get a few comics signed by him. Definitely going to get my Invincible Universe Battle Beast issue #1 signed by him. I think that'll be cool.
Do you
I'll be
have
bringing
do you have comic number 8?
no, for Invincible, no.
Yeah.
Those top 10, like those first 10 comics they're expensive. They're real
Yeah,
expensive.
I know
I had an
that.
opportunity to buy, I think it's issue 7, a couple weeks ago for a pretty good price. But just in preparation for New York Comic Con, I was like, I'll have to pass. I was like, if you still have it in like a couple months after, I've gotten through
I've
everything and maybe I don't
recovered.
buy as, yeah, I've recovered. Maybe I don't spend as much at New York Comic Con. I was like, I'll buy it from you. But I passed on that for the time being. I think the earliest issue I have is, I think it's issue 15, which is the first appearance of Angstrom Levy, which is a cool issue to have.
Yeah, very
Um,
cool.
but I think that's the earliest one I have. But hopefully get the Invincible Universe Battle Beast signed by him. Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta, which do the Absolute Batman series, they will both be there. Scott Snyder is the
Yeah.
writer, Nick Dragotta is the artist. So I'm definitely going to get their signatures on Absolute Batman issue 1. And then hopefully I'll see how much Nick is charging to do sketch covers, because I have a couple of blanks for Absolute Batman. Um, and we'll just see. I need to go through the list a little bit better and look through all the artists that are going to be there. Because I'm sure there's some other people that I'd like to have sign some stuff. But yeah, for the most part, those are like the two ones that I'm probably
Okay.
gonna stick it out at least for an autograph for, is
Yeah.
Scott Snyder and Ryan Ollie.
Dude, it's just they rack up so fast with money.
Yeah.
It is kind of crazy. Like I didn't realize it until we went to the Collecticon here in
Hmm.
Jacksonville. Dude, I was like, you want $80 for a pick? Like that's you're just a human, dude. Like
I will say, comic stuff is generally a lot cheaper than
right.
voice actors and like actors. I think Ryan Otley at the last con he was at, I think they said he was charging, it was somewhere in like, it was under $50 for a signature. So not bad in the
Yeah.
grand scheme of things. Considering
Not
like,
120.
exactly, like they can get
Oh
crazy. I know
my.
like Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, they're like 180 a piece. Sometimes they're even more than that.
That's wild,
So
dude. It's like
it
a
is crazy.
whip of the hand and it's like
Literally,
180
the
bucks.
worst is when it's not even legible. Like you can't even tell that it's actually their signature.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in the community, because I have a lot of friends that are super autograph snobs. Like they try to get every autograph on everything that they can get, because that's just what they like collecting. And it's
Yeah.
always funny when they like are so excited to get this autograph back, and it's literally like,
It's
it's like just a line. It's literally a line. But they love it, and it's cool. It's just part of
oh
it.
yeah.
And it makes sense, because some of those people that they're getting to sign autographs are doing legit like 1,000 autographs. Like writing your
Sure.
full name out would be
Just
really
made
tiring.
$10,000.
Yeah, literally. Um,
Holy
but
cow.
it is crazy. But yeah, those are the two I really want to get: Ryan Otley, Scott Snyder, and we'll see. Like I said, we'll see about a couple others. They haven't announced it yet. and Robert Kirkman generally doesn't do signings at events like this. But I really hope that if you get into the panel, sometimes they'll have like a little time after the panel that the people
Okay.
that got into the panel can come and get something signed. I would love for that to be
That'd
the
be
case.
cool.
And same with like Steven Yeun and Jillian Jacobs. That would be super cool. So I'm probably gonna bring my Invincible Funko Pops just in case that opportunity like presents itself. So I'm like ready to go. But I don't
Yeah.
have high hopes for that because that's asking a lot sometimes.
Yeah. It was so funny because I remember the people that we came as we were waiting in line to get into the con, and they were like, they had the folders and they had like, they were divvying out pins and like they had a box
Yep.
full of Funko Pops. And I'm like, oh, dang, that's going to be you this time. That's really cool.
Yeah, I just bought a bunch of Sharpies because they say that's the best for like comic paper.
Yeah.
They say not to use like paint pens and stuff on comics because the oil can sometimes damage the comic, and then eventually the autograph itself will start to
We'll
like
go
break
away.
apart and flake. So they say Sharpies are the best. So I literally just today got in the mail like a 24 pack of Sharpies that has every color you could possibly want in it. Just in case I don't know what color I want yet. And then I also bought like these really nice metallic gold, silver, and bronze Sharpies that it will look good on just about everything. That's what people usually recommend for Sharpies, is to get one of those colors. So I'm prepared. I just have to figure out
That's so
exactly
cool.
what I want signed, who I'm going to have sign it, and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, man, I'm
Yeah, it
excited
should be a
for
lot
you.
of fun.
And I can't wait to hear the exclusive scoops here on Weekly
Yeah,
Fix.
you guys are. Yeah, we're gonna have some breaking news potentially here on the
Yeah,
podcast, which will be a
that's
first
so
for us.
cool. So cool. Well, that's awesome. I wish I was going with you, but I'm so glad that you and Luke are gonna get to go and have such an awesome time. That's gonna be great, man.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And next year we're gonna get invited, so
Oh yeah, of
it'll
course.
all work
Yeah, you
out. Yeah,
guys are gonna
Weekly
make
Fix will probably
this
have.
blow up.
Yeah, Weekly Fix will probably have a live podcast. No big deal. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
We'll have our own panel.
Robert Kirkman will be asking to be on our podcast. You know, he'll want to present the Invincible news here. Like, this will be the place to do it. Imagine that would be pretty awesome.
We're totally grounded, realistic. We have our hopes
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
where they're supposed to be.
Yep. Yeah, it'll happen. You got to
I
believe
love
it.
it.
Believe it, and you
Yeah,
can achieve it. Right. So,
yeah, that's what they say.
but, but Zane, is there anything else you wanted to talk about here on this episode before we rounded things out?
Oh no, man, that's great.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you all so much for spending some time with us. If you are watching us on YouTube, we are kind of new to the platform. We've been posting for a while, but we've really been ramping it up with, the video forms and stuff like that. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave us a comment down below. Let us know what we can improve on. We're always trying to get better at stuff. If you're like, man, these guys just talk way too much, like, tell us, right? It probably isn't going to change anything, but we will try. But yeah, as far as that goes, thank you all so much for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Weekly Fix.